Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Florida International University, the College of Business Administration, and the State Farm Financial Literacy Lab. How many of you, yes, we're going to talk more about State Farm and the wonderful support that they have provided for us. How many of you are here for the first time? Great. Well, we particularly welcome you to our beautiful campus and to our beautiful facility. We have been in our new building for almost 3 years now. But when we were constructing this new complex, we had a vision to create a lab just like this. Because finance is one of the areas of focus within the business school. We have a large number of finance majors, and I wanted to provide a facility where our students would have the opportunity to learn and to practice what they were learning in the classroom with the latest financial software and the latest databases. And there are a few of these labs in other business schools around the country. The oldest and the largest is at Broward College, City University of New York, and I sent Helen up there early on in this process to go and check it out. And so Helen has been involved with this lab since its very beginning. But the College of Business Administration and FIU is not only committed to providing an exceptional educational experience for our students, but we realize the important role that we play in our community and our obligation to provide whatever educational assistance that we can in our community so that we all work together to provide a better place for all of us to live in South Florida. So it didn't take a lot of convincing on my part or on Helen's part to think about how do we begin to expand and open up the wonderful resources that we have in the College of Business as it relates to financial education. And what an incredible opportunity for our students who serve as interns to be able to teach others into the community and to begin to practice that value of giving back to their community. So the idea was born to do a high school financial literacy program. And so our first high school that we began to work with was Christopher Columbus High School. So we started out on that path, and then we had the wonderful, wonderful opportunity to meet State Farm. And as we got to know the corporation, as we worked with them in identifying a way to recruit the best and brightest, I think they fell in love with this lab. And they wanted also to partner with us, on how can we engage the community and how can we as partners give back something that would be of value. And so the idea of the Financial Literacy Lab came to be. And we are so proud to host the State Farm Financial Literacy Lab. I believe it's the only one in the country, isn't it? Yes. So we have the only State Farm Financial Literacy Lab in the entire country. And we are just so proud that State Farm chose us to partner with. And with their support, we are going to be able to expand the outreach program that we have, not only to the high schools, but to other groups as well. So I'm so glad you are all here today as we introduce you to our high school financial literacy program. I'm so happy that we have representatives of State Farm here with us today as we move forward in this very, very, very important initiative. So again, thank you all for being here, and I'll turn it over to Helen.
Okay, next up is Jose Soto with State Farm, who's going to speak to you for 5 minutes.
Right. And actually, I brought with myself Chris Cummins. He's our financial product service manager. Chris, if you come up with me. Dr. Elam, you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, literally, you took the words out of my mouth. We are extremely proud as a company to be able to support the State Farm Financial Literacy Lab. And we have been nationwide a huge supporter of service learning projects. We provide more service learning funds to schools and nonprofit organizations than anybody short of the federal government out there. So this partnership and what we're going to do with the students here is, for us, is extremely exciting. We look our agents and our associates look forward to working very closely with the students and the schools. And actually, some of the schools here, I've known some of the teachers already that have done some work with the Academy of Finance. So again, I welcome all of you, and I'd like to have Chris say a couple of words. He's our financial products manager for the Florida zone.
Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it. Always great to be here. I flew in kind of on the lark from Tallahassee, and you know everybody wants to come to South Florida, right? Everybody wants to come to South Florida. Plane that I was on seats 55 people. There were 60 that were on the plane. You know, it was funny. You know, everybody's standing in an aisle to come to South Florida, and it's no wonder. Gosh, you get off the plane, and what a beautiful place. Always a pleasure to be here. Dr. Simon, appreciate you, as always, having us here. You know, I'm a student of this business, and it's great to, I've gotten to know a couple of the students, the mentees, if you will, that work here. Michael Wellington and Andre just met, and, you know, our generation, my generation, if you talk about the financial crisis, who owns that? You know, it's my generation, right? You could argue, you know, is this truly a financial crisis? And I think you could make the argument that it really is a leadership crisis. It's a do I really know what I need to know to make a difference in this world of ours? And I tell you, the students that I've met here, I'm so impressed with. And as I kind of enter that chapter of my career where I'm on the tail end of this, and then I see these young folks coming in that are so bright, that are so passionate about what you do and what you're all about. It gives me heart in this business that I've spent an entire career in, and here I am, you know, at this precipice, if you will, that's unprecedented in scope, only to have the opportunity to team with my colleagues like Jose and Richard and agents like Manny and Don Dye, who are here on State Farm's behalf to make a difference in the communities we serve, and team that with the students that are here and combine that with the opportunity to platform this out to dedicated teachers like yourself that are here. It gives me a great deal of hope about what we're all about and what the goal of this center is. So it is a privilege to be here, and I'm glad that I wasn't kicked off the plane this morning. I had a boarding pass, and I'm glad that I was able to be here. So we're here to help. Know that we got a big footprint, got a nice plaque with our name on the door, which is a nice thing to have, I guess, a name on the door. But more importantly, I think if you look around the room, the people that are here from State Farms, this is very much boots on the ground, let's get to town type methodology, and what can we do to help. And man, I want to hold you up again, man. Got one of our very best agents here in South Florida. Any other State Farm agents here this morning? Manny's the man. So thanks, Manny. I know he's a great agent, and he's what we are in the marketplace. So through your efforts and our partnership, we're happy to be here and happy to help. And just welcome to the lab. Dr. Simon?
Okay, our next speaker will be the director of the FIU High School Financial Literacy Program. We call him Mr. Alfaro because that's what he likes to be called, but I call him Mike. Here you go, Mike.
You guys can just call me Mike. Well, once again, thank you all for being here. Thank you to the teachers, because obviously without the teachers, education wouldn't be possible. I mean, obviously, education is the guiding light for our future. And that's what we're all about here at the State Farm Financial Literacy Lab. Well, yesterday, when I was on my way home, I was actually thinking about this event and what I was going to say at this speech. And, it didn't occur to me until I got home and I started watching TV what to say. I saw one of my favorite movies on TV, actually. It's Dead Poets Society. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Have any of you seen it? Yeah, Seize the Day, exactly. One of the catchphrases, or one of the primary quotes from the movie is Carpe Diem, seize the day. And one of my favorite poems from that movie actually is, gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still a-flying. And that same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be a-dying. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that we need to make the most of the time that we have here. And we need to make sure that our students and the younger generation, and I'm sounding like I'm really old now, but I'm not. We need to make sure that we provide a guiding light to them. And that's part of what we do here at the State Farm Financial Literacy Lab with our high school program. I am the director. It's a fancy title, but I really see the students as friends. As I see myself in the role as a mentor, because I want to provide that guiding light to them so they can actually see something that they haven't been able to see before, that they haven't been exposed to before. Because I remember when I was in high school, we had the stock market challenge. I remember my teacher, Mr. Panadero, maybe some of you know him, maybe not, but he actually mentioned to me, well, here's the stock market challenge, and hopefully you find the best opportunities in the market, and if you win, that's great, because maybe finance should be in your future. Like he had a crystal ball, right? I mean, I'm going to be in finance right now. But when I was doing the stock market challenge, he did provide us with some resources, yet I didn't have the insight, because he was a social studies teacher. He had an economics and government background, but he didn't have the actual financial insight and experience on how to go about investing. And one of the primary motives here is to teach students how to invest for themselves, because hopefully they can pass this knowledge on to maybe their family or to their friends, because like Chris Cummins says, it is a teaching moment, and financial literacy is imperative for everybody. Everybody needs to know how to manage their finances, and everybody needs to know about these securities. I had a conversation the other day with my colleague, Andre, and he was telling me about the conversation that he had with one of his managing directors when he was in New York. And that conversation was essentially, it went something like this. Well, but the days of people not knowing about certain securities, not understanding stocks, not understanding bonds, not understanding derivatives, that's over. We're in a moment, we're in a position, we are in a state that we have to understand these securities because they touch all of us. How many of you have a mortgage? Or I guess maybe not that many. How many of you have a credit card? I'm sure all of you have a credit card. I mean, obviously, these securities are being packaged and bundled and moving on from here to there. So if you understand how these securities work, then maybe you would be able to fend for yourself better in the market. You would be able to make better decisions. So on that note, one of the points that I'm trying to make is with the Columbus students that we've worked with so diligently and so hard with, we've been able to teach them how to invest in stocks, how to invest in bonds, and we start out with the basics. So the first thing that we cover is obviously what is a stock and what is a bond. Do you guys remember what systemic risk is? Kev? I'm sorry? Systematic risk? Exactly. systematic risk. Obviously it has to do with the entire market. How many high school kids do you think know what systematic risk is? How many high school students knew that what was going on in 2008 and 2009 was a systemic crisis, the domino effect? Did they know what was going on? No. But the students that we've worked with, they have a greater understanding of what's going on in the market, and they can make better decisions for their future, because one of the biggest problems that we have in the markets is asymmetrical information. And these students are working with us so they can have the tools to make the best decisions possible. So how does that relate to the teachers? Well, once again, with the teachers that are here, we want to make sure that we partner with you because, like I mentioned in the emails that I sent you, many of those emails, we want to augment your curriculum. We want to make sure that if there's something that your students need to know more about to understand finance or economics or government, because they're all interrelated. Finance works with government because obviously the banks finance a lot of the government expenditures. Obviously, the government expenditures affect what goes on in the market economy. So we want to make sure that these students understand the interrelationships, how interrelated the market is, how interrelated the United States market is with the Chinese market. So rather than just making a simple statement of, well, the Chinese are obviously becoming power players, and they're gonna surpass us in 10 years. They're gonna understand the financial process behind that, what's occurring, how the assets are moving, which assets are moving, which assets are being developed. So once again, that is our mission. We want to give these students hands-on experience. As you guys see, there's actually a lot of Bloombergs. These terminals in the middle, those white computers are Bloomberg terminals. And that's actually the most widely respected piece of financial equipment in the market. Practically every bulge bracket bank will use a Bloomberg terminal. All of them have Bloomberg terminals, actually, because you can find everything you want on that Bloomberg. If I want to know what's going on with, let's say, the prince in Thailand, because that's affecting the market somehow, I can look it up there. And that's one of the advantages that you have with bringing your students over here, because they're going to have access to equipment and information that would take them maybe about 20 hours, and I'm not kidding, 20 hours to look it up on their own online, on Google or something. Whereas if they use our equipment, they can find it within an hour. They can find anything they want. So we try to incorporate not only just software, not only just teaching, but we also try to show them how they can use it all together to make an informed decision. So I'm sure many of you have done the stock market challenge. And again, we hope that we can partner with you in the future to, like I said, work with you and teach your students as much as possible so they can actually seize the day, so they can actually realize that that same flower that's smiling today, tomorrow will be dying. Carpe diem. Thank you.
I hired him. He's going to graduate and go to work for J.P. Morgan in a couple of months. Yes, very good for him. I'm very proud of him. Our next speaker is the student leader of our Columbus High School group. And I've gotten to know Kevin fairly well over the last year or so. And we're trying to beg him to come to school here because I need new interns. So Kevin is going to talk to you a little bit about his experience as being the first high school literacy program at FIU.
I first wanted to start out as to how this program came to be. I was in my sophomore year in high school, and the president of my school had always told us that as students that we need to get involved and we need to participate and be active and very participant. And I was thinking back in 2008, Bernie Madoff, what's going on? Freddie Mac, oh look, there's something else going on. And I figured I needed to be more financially literate and better educated, and I figured I needed to start a business club, and so I did. And then I figured, let's take this to the next level and to the next level. And then that's how I came to meet Dr. Simon, and with her help, this has been one of the greatest experiences of my high school career. And I really am grateful for everything that we've learned, and from asset allocation to concepts of risk and management and options and trading. And it really has been one of the greatest experiences here as a high school student. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity that Dr. Simon has given me, and I really want to thank Florida International University, Dr. Simon, Mr. Alfaro, and Mr. Alfaro, and Dr. Elam for this experience. And FIU really has gone above and beyond the call of duty, and they really are committed to education, and not just in their students, we're given the opportunity to educate the younger ones, even if we're not that much younger. But I really am thankful for their selfless appreciation and gratitude. So I really want to say thank you, Dr. Simon, for everything that you've done, and this really has been incredible. I mean, this lab, and thank you, State Farm, also for your help as well. And it really is his experience of a lifetime, and I'm grateful to be here, so thank you.
So have you made your college decision yet?
Not yet, but I can tell you I'm definitely considering this school right now.
Okay, okay. All right, now we have, our next speaker is going to be Victoria Williams, and Ms. Williams is with the Florida Department of Financial Services, and she's going to talk to you about financial literacy initiatives. Where did she go? I'm right here behind you. Oh, okay, sorry, you're hiding. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks. I am also very grateful to have a few minutes of your time to talk about the resources of the state agency, the Florida Department of Financial Services. We regulate insurance companies and agents, and they must take an examination. And I'll also let you know we take complaints from consumers and businesses that may have a dispute with their insurance. We also try to educate with all of the online information, and today I wanted to highlight our website so that you'll have an opportunity to see some of the resources that we're going to allow everyone to have a chance to look at. We have laws such as Florida's unclaimed property. As that scrolls through, I'll enlighten you. This program holds over $1 billion in such places as banks that must report a stale or dormant account, safe deposit boxes, etc. Small businesses, uncashed payroll checks have to go in this. Anytime you get a rebate or a refund of something due to you or your parents, if you're an heir to them, you can search this free database. The Get Lean program is ways to save Florida money. We are the watchdog of the Florida Treasury. And then as it comes up to family fiscal fitness, that is an area that I want to let you know and bookmark this in your own computers. Because although we do take those complaints, we want to educate beforehand so that people are able to find out on their own. This consumer insurance issue, when it comes up, you can click right in the middle right now. Family fiscal fitness, actually, that big box. You can see all the tabs on the top. You can look at financial resources. These are all links. You will be hearing about the Florida Financial Literacy Council, and this is a link to their website. We have many outreach programs to different segments of the community and want to alert people that we will possibly even get your money back if you've been scammed financially. But people that have been scammed are embarrassed and don't want to report it. And so the scammer continues. Our job is to try to stop that before it starts. So looking at this website, Florida Saves is another event coming up that we get all kinds of partners in. A week in February, Coral Springs Saves is going to hold it down here in Miami area, in Broward County. And this is a week to alert people about many things that are available financially in your community. There are income tax preparation sites. There are earned income tax credits this time of year that we educate about that people have not taken advantage of. Financial calculators, it comes down to, sure, you know how to do math, you've been educated, but should I go ahead and pay off my old credit card that the rate has now jumped up and take the cash advance fee? How much is it going to be before it's worth it? How long does it take me to pay it off? These kind of calculations can be done online to help protect you. So looking at the top with all the tabs, we have some there for veterans, for small businesses. Education is another tab. So any of those as we go along, just to let you know, you can see links to college saving plans, mapping your future, education.com, even down to junior achievement. So this is one of the most concise and very comprehensive websites that I can offer you today. I only want a short period of your time. I will be available later to talk to you. We got $22 million back for people last year that took the time and effort to complain. 1 year alone. We have jobs that are investigators that look after find out the trail of the financial fraud. We have state chartered bank examiners. They look at credit unions, mortgage brokers, stock brokers, anyone lending money, time, payments, buy here, pay here, car dealerships, check cashing stores, payday loan places. All of these need auditing. We have a helpline that will discuss and take these complaints. We have attorneys that work for us to try to find this out. We even have law enforcement personnel. So as far as a future in the financial arena, as a regulator, that's how I've served in my career. And I just wanted to throw that out there as perhaps it might stimulate somebody here to want to work on that end of life. Again, thank you so much for the time and the opportunity, and we stand ready to do this type of outreach again in the future. Any opportunities as a consumer outreach coordinator, please contact me. Thank you.
That's great. Good to know. Good to know. And Victoria, you'll be here for lunch, right, if anybody wants to chat with you? Right, yes? Okay, great. Okay, our next guest, I got a chance to chat with a little bit, is Gail Hawks. And Gail is with the Florida Council on Economic Education, and she's going to talk about financial literacy initiatives, awards, and the stock market challenge. Wellington.
Thank you very much. Can you get this website up for me, this one? Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. How many teachers do we have here? Oh, you are the bestest. You are the bestest. They may be talking about the agents and State Farm, but you are the people who really count. And I want to say a special note to one of my students over here. He's very young. Of course, he had me when I was 3 years old as a teacher. But Jose, it's very good to see you again. My name is Gail Hawks, and I am here to represent the Florida Council on Economic Education. But actually, I'm a little closer to home. I'm down at the Kendall campus of Miami-Dade College, a professor of economics there. And today what I want to do is share with you some of the wonderful programs that the Florida Council has available to you, which then you can take to your students, because it is a fantastic organization that offers a great deal of service to teachers for free. That's a very good word, free. Okay, especially in education where not too much is. Okay. Up here we have the website for the Florida Council on Economic Education. And if you can scroll down just a little bit, you'll see the Stock Market Challenge, which is one of those programs that I think was already mentioned and certainly fits into this room decor, because it is a program for schools that is operated through the Florida Council. It is free, and what they do is they provide you with a list of passwords and team IDs so that you can organize your students. A very handsome group of students over here. You can organize your students into teams, and each team has a $100,000 portfolio that they get to manage. And they can buy stocks, bonds, mutual funds. It's a very advanced type of program. And again, it is free to you. It didn't used to be free. In the old days, you had to pay a team fee, but now you don't. It's been financed, and we're really happy about that. And it does provide students a great opportunity to learn research, to be able to work cooperatively in a team, and to also understand some of the beginning tenets of investment. Although the activity only runs for about 10 weeks, and we know investment doesn't run for 10 weeks, but at least it gives them an opportunity to learn some of the basics of the stock market, bonds, and mutual funds. So it's a wonderful opportunity. The program already started this week, but if you wanted to register, you can still get in and register and get your kids started, and it's very easy to operate. Another program, going back to the home page, that they have is over here. It's called the Governor's Awards Program. The Governor's Awards Program is a great opportunity for teachers. It is an opportunity for you to get to shine a little bit. I mean, you don't have a whole lot of opportunities in the world of education to really demonstrate your exceptional skills and to get recognized for those exceptional skills. And what's unfortunate is sometimes teachers don't think that they have those exceptional skills. They're just doing their job. They're just doing what comes naturally to you. But, you know, why not take that and take it one more step Or like my favorite chef, Emeril Lagasse, says, kick it up a notch and get a reward for it. The Governor's Award Program, which you can go online and do your application online now, so it can be a very simple process where you can take a lesson that you have developed with your students. It can be a short lesson of one day. It can be a longer lesson. It could be a semester-long activity. The duration of it doesn't matter. And you can get an exceptional prize. You get to go to Orlando to a very nice reception. You get some good little treats. And I've been there several times, and I tell you, it's a marvelous experience. Actually, I come from Ohio, and we have something similar like this in Ohio. And when I was a first-year teacher, I actually won. And I've been hooked ever since, and that's been just a couple of years ago, okay? Because I've been down here for several decades. I won't tell you how long I was in Ohio teaching, but anyway, I've been around a long time. And it's always been a wonderful program because you just see teachers really light up with the experience that they've had with their students, and they're getting some recognition for it. So, you know, it is an opportunity that I certainly hope you will avail yourselves to. And again, it's online at the Florida Council website. Now, more in fitting perhaps with the theme of today is the financial literacy material that the Florida Council has. They have a program called Financial Freedom right there at the top. And they also have it available in Spanish. So if you need a bilingual presentation, they have it for you. This material is also free. Okay, we've got that word. Free material, and it helps to cover the main concepts of investing. It talks about savings. It talks about budgeting. It talks about credit and credit fraud. It talks about credit theft, etc. And all this material can be sent to you in multiple copies so that everybody in your class can have a set of this material. So it can be sent to you, or if you prefer, you can get it on a CD and then mass produce it yourself on your very big budget you have for paper at your schools. Okay, so you have both options. You can either get the CD or actually the printed material. Now, I have handouts for all three of these programs, the Governor's Awards, the Stock Market Challenge, and also the Financial Freedom material. But I also want you to be aware that there's another organization, because Florida is part of a national network. There's a Council on Economic Education. And one of the things that the Council on Economic Education now has available for teachers, kindergarten through 12th grade, is an association called GATE. Global Association of Teachers of Economics, I believe. And it is free for teachers to join. And they have a marvelous collection of lesson plans for almost any grade level, for every concept you might think about teaching. There are just this whole bibliography of massive lesson plans that you can have, download for free. They have conferences that they hold every year in coordination with the Council on Economic Education. And this past year it was just out at the, was it the Fontainebleau? Fontainebleau at Miami Beach. And I think there were more public and private school teachers K-12 there than there were professionals from the collegiate level. So it's a new organization, but you all are taking over. So it's great. Okay, the National Council, and I think it's the second website here. If you can also, before you click off of that, I want to point out that the Florida Council also has a wiki site that you can join for free, obviously. And there's a blog there. It's got a whole collection of lesson plans that other teachers just like you have done. These aren't lesson plans that were developed by some, egghead in a university somewhere, but these were real practicing teachers who developed these lessons and have worked through all the parameters that you have. So they're very doable lesson plans. Now if we can go to the National Council. Boy, this is so nice to have a magic helper here. I have to do this in class all myself. Run back, do this, run back here. And he's younger than I am too. Just a little bit. Here is the Council on Economic Education, which is our parent organization for all the state councils. They have a terrific catalog of materials. Now, their materials aren't necessarily free, but they are beautifully produced and exceptionally well done. Again, they are written by professionals in the field of education. So they're not written by a professional economist or someone who's a professional in finance or a professional in accounting, but a teacher of economics, a teacher of accounting, a teacher of finance. So the lesson plan is really appropriate for your grade level, for your student population. Okay? Some of their materials are also in Spanish as well as in English. One of the programs that they have, Virtual Economics, is a CD, and I tell you, it has a wealth of material in it. If you were going to buy any one thing for your classroom, if you had to scrape together all your pennies, I would purchase that because it covers both micro and macro concepts. It has a gazillion lesson plans in it. It has a host of different textbooks downloaded in it. It is just a really valuable CD. So if there's anything that you can buy from them, that would be something I would run back and get my social studies chairperson to divvy up for. Okay, so this is just a quick overview of the National Council on Economic Education, the Florida Council on Economic Education, and if you ever have a chance while you're at lunch to talk to Jose over here, you might talk to Jose and see what he has to say about the programs that the Miami-Dade College Center for Economic Education has. And Jose, I hope you talk to Chris because he's on our Florida Council board now, and you can just tell him your experiences, unsolicited by me, but it's okay. And I want to really say a note of appreciation to the State Farm agencies because you really have provided an excellent facility here. I can't help saying I'm jealous, but I'm glad that there is something like this in our neighborhood because it's important for our students. Obviously, these young interns have benefited greatly from it. They speak very well. They have performed beautifully today. She even gave me the right directions to get here, and I'm kind of geographically challenged. So that is wonderful, and I'm very happy to be a part of this, and I wish you great, great, great success. Thank you.
Gail, thank you so much. Are you sure you can't stay for lunch?
I'm sure.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so if anybody's interested, Gail has some handouts for you. And finally, and this is my challenging name here, we have Abdulio Piedra. How did I do? Abdulio Piedra, who is with the Florida Financial Literacy Council, and he is going to talk about his organization and their outreach initiatives.
Good afternoon. Wow, what a group. I was just surprised when I walked up, and first of all, I saw Dr. Elam. And I remember when she came into town as the dean of the school, she came up to Bank of America when I was working over there and with an ask. And to build this beautiful campus and business school that has really grown, and I see that a lot of my fellow competitors, Ocean Bank and Wachovia, are here. So I know that we have to really turn around this economy so that Great Florida Bank can have their own classroom one day. And so come knocking in about a couple of years. Give me some breathing room. As you all know, the state of affairs in our economy are not great, but we're moving forward. And I want to commend State Farm for having the courage and the ability to fund such a great lab here. Dr. Simon, you have done a great job, and by walking in and being introduced to some of your interns, they're true professionals. And J.P. Morgan, how about community banks? Come see me later and give me your resume. That's what I think that it's a good learning experience to be in a community bank. I started with Barnett Bank, my professional career, and from there through Legacy Nations Bank and Bank of America, And 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, I left Bank of America, took a severance package, and went to start working for a community bank, and went and raised the capital from scratch with my former boss, and raised $60 million in the first round, then $117 million, and grew a bank that now is $1.8 billion in assets, and we have 28 solution centers in a tri-county area. But 4 years ago, I got a call from my dear friend Alex Sink, our former CFO for the state of Florida. And she was my former boss, too, at Nations Bank and Bank of America. And she said the state legislature had created a Florida Financial Literacy Council. And she asked me to be part of the council and asked me to chair the council. And I chaired the council for the first 4 years and stepped down as chairman last year. But I remain part of the council. Now, you saw the website that with our new CFO. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Our new CFO, Jeff Atwater. The website, the financial fitness website, was part when we started the council. As you can see, the Florida Economic Council, we have junior achievements. There are so many state resources on financial literacy that we decided that we weren't going to recreate the wheel. We were going to create a repository of information at the state level, and we went out and to look for partners to do this. And that website, the original website that was shown, was a creation of the United Way of Tampa. And when the United Way of Tampa was losing resources, financial resources, we took it over and created that website of all those resources around the state. So I want to commend what you're all doing here. But in terms of financial literacy, you guys are light years ahead of where the average consumer in the state is. And the Florida Financial Literacy Council wanted to look at when you're in kindergarten through retirement and death. And who are the people most abused in terms of financial literacy? Senior citizens. And the state has resources for financial literacy for senior citizens and fraud abuse in terms of annuities that are being sold and so forth. Now, in applying for a state college, I understand now that students have to do some sort of an online program on binge drinking and drugs. I've been told that. But do you provide any type of resource or tool to teach incoming students to the university about balancing their checking account or being fiscally responsible? Okay, that is something that should be considered, because I guarantee you that a lot of the students that are walking into this school haven't balanced a checkbook. Okay, and the first thing when they come to orientation, there are a bunch of banks out there selling them credit cards. Okay, and they get a tote bag or something for free. They sign up the credit card and says mom and dad are not around. They charge it up, and before you know it, they have a $5,000 balance, and it's going to take them about an average of 20 years to pay that balance off. So, with those things, it is at the basic level, at the very basic level. And what happens? We have all these state great programs, and you teachers have your hands tied because the state doesn't give you the resources to provide financial literacy education from the K1 level to graduating seniors. And it's in the social studies program where financial literacy is stuck into some sort of a home ed program that it's now in the state. And because of funding issues, the state does not fund financial literacy from first grade through seniors. So there's a lot of work to be done. But this center takes it to the next level. And I commend all of you for what you're doing here, but there's a lot of work to be done. So we need your help. We need your help in informing your local legislator to fund financial literacy at all levels. With me here today is Irby Blanco True, and Irby is Director of Community Development for Great Florida Bank, also sits on the Florida Prosperity campaign. Florida Prosperity is a group that provides financial literacy and resources to the most needy people in our community throughout the state. That was created by a consortium of different groups. And the Florida Financial Literacy Council went out to do an award, Financial Literacy Award, and they were the first group that got the award. And then Gus Starvos from the University of Central Florida, are you familiar with? He received the award, and there's a financial literacy center there. And this year, I'm very proud to announce that last week, our CFO, Jeff Atwater, which, by the way, was a colleague of mine at Barnett Bank, so I've known Jeff for a while, we just gave it to a group called Veterans Plus. They gave out over financial literacy aid to over 5,000 families of veterans that are serving our country. And when you go off to war and your wife stays behind, or your husband, with bills to pay and lack of resources, they have done an incredible job. And what I would like to see, that perhaps this center can be nominated next year for that award. This is an award that's being given out now on an annual basis by the Florida Financial Literacy Council. I am in between you and lunch, so I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to be here, answer questions. You have with you the annual report that we just issued. The Florida Financial Literacy Council was enacted by the state legislature, and in it, it stipulated that by January 1st of every year, we had to give a report to the governor and the CFO. And this report is hot off the press. It was issued by Governor Chris and CFO Sink right before they left office. And on January 1st, it was issued. It gives you a recap of what we have done, what are the resources that are available out there. You have the website also that he was showing you. And with that, I commend State Farm, FIU, Dr. Simon, Dr. Leland, all of you for the great job you're doing and the great team you have here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdulio. Okay, before we go downstairs and have lunch, and we're actually running on time, this blows my mind. I would like to let you know, okay, we've given you all this information, and this is directed towards the teachers. We've given you all this information now. Okay, what are we going to do with it? Well, when we go to lunch, we have a number of our interns here. You see them all in the back, and pick one that you like, and talk to them about us doing a program for you. Because what we do for the Christopher Columbus group is they come here like every other Friday at 3 o'clock, and for an hour to an hour and a half, we teach them about financial literacy. And I have moved heaven and earth to make this lab available for this program all day on Fridays. So we have room for 3 more groups of students, 3 more schools. So if you would like us to include you, we have the financial literacy program, high school financial literacy program is on our website. That's not all of it, though. There's more. Samantha Davis is going to be doing credit counseling and checkbooks and all that other kind of stuff. So it's going to give your students an awful lot of the stuff that Abdulio talked about and basic, the sexy stuff that they want to know about stocks and bonds. So like I said, I have room. We can include 3 more schools. It's going to be a Friday. I think we might be able to start in April. And then we'd go, of course, and do it next year. But talk to one of my interns, and they can provide most of the information for you. If it gets complicated, if you have special circumstances, talk to me. But we would really like to, we have all this stuff, so we want to share it with you and your kids. So does anybody have any questions for anybody?
I just want to say one more thing.
Sure.
Consider this also, and in your program, there should be a component on ethics. We talked about systemic risk, but if you look at the financial crisis that we had, what were people doing getting loans that they weren't capable of paying? Why were they pulling out credit cards that they couldn't pay off? And business ethics and personal ethics, okay, would have been a great part of preventing this crisis from not being as bad as it has been. So in your program, I would encourage you to use, that portion, because that is very important part in the business world.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%. Any other questions? Okay. We are going to go downstairs and have lunch in our lobby. And Samantha maybe will lead you all out this door, and probably down the stairs is the best thing. But we're going to go have lunch over there. I know Victoria has some stuff in my office, and I'll lock it up if you want to leave there. Are we coming back up here? No. We're going to go and lunch and network and everything. But thank you all so much for coming.